Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm James, and today we've got one of those slasher, horror, mystery with a little bit of comedy mixed in. So today I'm excited to announce we're gonna deep dive into Scream 2022 on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. So we're gonna dive into, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the film, how this kind of compares to the first Scream movie, because it's kind of like a relaunching of the brand and kind of like a sequel and relaunch. So I'll tell you what my thoughts are about that. We're gonna go in and do my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison, so that way you can see which one is the better option. Is it worth spending the money for the 4K Ultra HD, or should you just get the regular Blu-ray? So we'll dive into that and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm gonna give you all the specs, run down through this set, and then at the end I always wrap it up with my review score. And I'll tell you what this compares to the previous releases and how this stacks up, if this is worth something buying and spending the money for, or if it's something you should skip. Now, I always enjoyed the original Scream. Now, I'll talk about that here just for a second. Here on my YouTube channel, I reviewed the original Scream, which is the 4K Ultra HD release they did with the brand new restoration and remaster. If you haven't checked that one out, I'll put the link up above for that. So if you want to, after you get done watching this review, you can go back and check out that review as well. But I always enjoyed the original Scream, so I'm always a little bit kind of nervous and wondering how it's gonna live up to, if it's gonna be just as good, or if they're gonna kind of just play the same movie, just with different characters. So I was kind of curious when I dived into the new Scream, how it was gonna live up compared to this. So to start off with, I'm gonna start off with the Blu-ray image comparison up here. This is the Blu-ray that comes in this set. Now I will touch on this just for a second. The actual standard 4K Ultra HD release of Scream does not come with a Blu-ray of the actual movie to do my 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison. So I had to spend a bunch of extra money. It actually cost $40 for this SteelBook set that actually comes with the 4K Ultra HD and the Blu-ray. So I did that for all of you here on this YouTube channel, but normally I would have just gotten the 4K Ultra HD release, but it doesn't come with a Blu-ray. So keep that in mind. The SteelBook is the only one that actually comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is this set here. And I'll get to that a little bit later on, but the Blu-ray release that is in there, when I scanned off of the disc, this is what you're gonna see on the Blu-ray disc, the natural unfiltered image. That means without all the data, and I've kind of talked about this on the YouTube channel a lot, but without all the data that your Blu-ray player or 4K player, or for example, your TV can add to it. Like somebody could have their color saturation at like 90, for example, so that the color looks like everybody's bleeding. This is without that. This is just the natural data that's present on each of these discs. So that's what's unique about these exclusive screenshots and image comparisons that I do, just like you'll see in comparison to this 4K up here. So the 4K Ultra HD release, that is the HDR representation, standard HDR. So this does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. But because YouTube's algorithm only allows standard HDR, it dumbs down all those screenshots. So what you see there, it's only gonna look better on your home TV. So what you see in the 4K image, remember, once you play it on your home TV, because you'll have Dolby Vision or HDR10, it'll make that image look so much more outstanding than even what you see there. But comparison to the Blu-ray, there was some big standouts. Obviously, because this is a native 4K 2160p, it does have much more depth and clarity and skin tones and things like that that I've talked about on previous releases. But the big thing that stands out between the two, because a lot of this film is very dark, on the Blu-ray, it kind of had more of a grayish tone in some scenes. And I kind of felt like overall the dark scenes on that Blu-ray just weren't inky. They weren't inky at all. So when there was like a scene of like Ghostface coming out of the darkness towards somebody, it would basically, you could see him even on the Blu-ray, even in the dark scene, because it was kind of a, I hate to say gray, but darker black, but not inky black. Well, on the Blu-ray, it was inky black, and then when his mask would come out of the darkness, kind of like what you see on the front here, kind of coming out of the darkness, man, it was just so stunning when you see the white mask coming out of darkness. And that is where the 4K Ultra HD representation on this really looked outstanding, because of that Dolby Vision. And the Dolby Vision was where it was at on this presentation. The HDR10 looked good, and I'm not going to say it doesn't look good at all. It did. It looked really good. But that Dolby Vision really added a whole nother element, I felt like. And on this release for Scream, this one did really look drastically, in my opinion, better on the Dolby Vision transfer than even the HDR10. But if you only have HDR10, it's still gonna look stunningly better than what you see on the Blu-ray to begin with. So overall, I really did think they did a good job with this transfer. I didn't have any playback issues with it. There wasn't any jaggies or compression. They did a good job with that overall on this 4K Ultra HD. Now the runtime on this is 114 minutes and it is rated R. And I'll touch on that here for a minute. Kind of compared to the original Scream, it's very similar as far as why it's rated R. It's got language, violence. The one thing I will say about the new Scream though, that violence, it does have quite a bit more gore in it. So keep that in mind. It's not as, I would say, light as the original Scream was. It's definitely way more gory. I mean, somebody gets stabbed or something happens to them, it's got way more gore in it. But keep that in mind, so to each your own. If you're looking for like the original Scream where it wasn't really gory, that's not this movie. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these exclusive or early reviews that I do here on my YouTube channel. And this is something I exclusively do with these 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons. I take all my time to scan all the data off of these discs. Just like I explained, I had to spend extra money for all of you to get the Blu-ray copy so I could compare and do all these comparisons for all of you here on this YouTube channel. So make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Now, as I was saying, this is a native 4K 2160p, and it is in the original aspect ratio of 2.39 to 1. They didn't cut it down or change that at all. So I always appreciate when they keep those in the original aspect ratio and don't mess with those at all. Audio-wise on this, you get English DTS HD Master Audio 7.1, and I did think that audio mix was good, but here's my one caveat. I do wish it would have had Dolby Atmos on it. Now, I just recently reviewed here a little while ago the Death on the Nile 4K Ultra HD release. And I'll put the link up above for that as well if you haven't checked that one out yet. That one actually has a Dolby Atmos mix on it, and I really enjoyed the Dolby Atmos mix on that. It is kind of one of those things, if you've never heard Dolby Atmos and a really good Dolby Atmos setup, you're kind of missing out on it. It was one of those things that once I got into it and really explored it, it does add a whole new element to movies. It's 3D, kind of like object-based audio where you can hear different audio coming from different directions, above you, other than just from the sides or in front or just behind it. It's all over, and it really does add an element to these movies. And the 7.1 on this was good, but I kind of don't understand why they didn't put a Dolby Atmos mix on it, because my understanding is it was available. They just didn't put it on the 4K Ultra HD or Blu-ray. But the 7.1 sounds good. There wasn't any audio lag or audio issues. And the DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 is a lossless audio mix. So it is good. It's just, I would have loved to have Dolby Atmos, especially like the sound effects on it and things like that. I'm really getting into these Dolby Atmos discs and I'm really enjoying them. So I was just slightly disappointed that Dolby Atmos didn't make it on this release. Now it does have Dolby Digital 5.1 in numerous other languages like German, French, Italian, Spanish, plus about 3 or 4 other audio options. So keep that in mind no matter where you live worldwide. It does have a bunch of audio mixes available for you as well. Subtitles, you do get English, French, German, Spanish, plus 8 other countries. So keep that in mind. If you do need subtitles, it's probably got every single one you need on this as well. Now talking about Scream here, the 2022 one for a minute, in comparison to the original, I actually thought it had some really good jokes in it, some great comedy, just referencing not only the first Scream movie, but all of Scream history throughout, kind of referencing a bunch of other horror series, and just in my opinion was overall a fun, enjoyable movie on its own. So I was excited when they announced it was coming out on 4K Ultra HD and it wasn't going to be skipped. And this is an odd thing. Some studios have been randomly skipping movies on 4K Ultra HD, don't know why, don't know their thought process behind it. So I was really glad they decided to release this, especially because, as you probably noticed above, that 4K Ultra HD release looks drastically better than the Blu-ray did. Hands down, it just because of the darkness of the film and different elements like that, because you obviously have way more pixels because of it being 4K and a native 2160p, but the depth to the skin tones, the depth to their costumes and their clothes and the grass and everything you see just comes through so much better, especially with that Dolby Vision. And the film is fun. I mean, if you liked the original Scream, heck, they reference so much in this, and that's why I kind of say it's a soft reboot. It's kind of one of those things, they kind of went some different directions with characters that I did like, that kind of added to the legacy of Scream without changing it too much. So overall, if you like the original Scream, other than I did think the buckets of gore kind of got over the top into kind of the cheese area. And I kind of felt like the buckets of gore were a little bit cheesy overall. But overall, I thought the film fit well in the series and went well with the first Scream overall, that it was just enjoyable and a fun movie to watch. Now, if you enjoy these reviews and you enjoy the content I work hard to create here on my YouTube channel, make sure to go down and give a super thanks or a donation through the PayPal donate link down below in the description section or as a pinned comment below. Right below this video, there's a button that's a super thanks, and there you can give a tip to the channel. That helps me to be able to pay to afford to keep making all these videos for all of you to watch here on this YouTube channel. Just like this review, I had to go spend tons of extra money to get this released, to get both copies, to be able to do these exclusive Blu-ray versus 4K image comparisons that all of you enjoy watching here on my channel. So for me to be able to afford to keep creating all this content for all of you to watch and enjoy, I can only do it through the support of all of you, my viewers and subscribers. So make sure to go down and either give a tip through the super thanks button down below, and that's on the bar right below the video. You'll find that actual link right there, and it lets you give a tip for any amount. You can give $1, $2, whatever you can on each of the videos you watch here on my YouTube channel. That helps me to be able to afford to keep providing all of this. Or you can give a donation down below. Also, if you decide you're going to pick up any of these copies of Scream, I'll post them all down below in the description section and as a pinned comment. I've made it nice and easy for all of you. You click on that, take you straight out there at no extra cost to all of you. It's the same price as everywhere else. You click on that link, it lets you buy it right through there. And that helps support this YouTube channel just a tiny bit as well. But again, as I said, that doesn't cost you anything extra. So make sure if you're gonna pick it up, click through one of those links down below. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, talking about this release, I did like the SteelBook this came in. Though, do I think it was worth the extra like $15 to $20? No, it depends on how much you collect SteelBooks. Personally, I think this one was quite overpriced. But as I said, I did have to buy it for all of you so I could do the 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison. On the side, it does say Scream, and it looks very similar to the original Scream SteelBook release. If you can see that there, they both actually say Scream in the same font, same print. So it was very similar on that side. Then when you get to the back here, has the same back cover art that's on all of the releases. Just talks about the movie. It does include a digital copy, talks about it being rated R, talks about that it does have Dolby Vision on it, and then it talks about special features. It does have deleted scenes, behind the scenes, the legacy of Wes Craven, and filmmaker commentary. So I did like the special features on it, though to be honest with you, I think combination for all the special features, it was only about 30 minutes total. So it was nice they're included on this. Again, a nice thing about physical media, you get all those extra bonus features on this, but don't expect tons and tons of them because again, it was about 30 minutes total runtime for all of them. And then back of the SteelBook, it does have Ghostface on it, which I did kind of like that picture. Now, when you get inside here, it does have a picture of the cast on the inside of the SteelBook, and then it does have your Scream 4K Ultra HD. This is what would be included in your standard release. So, as I'm showing you over there, the standard release cover art, you would only get the 4K Ultra HD disc and the digital copy that would be here. You don't get this Blu-ray disc, so keep that in mind. You're basically paying 20 bucks extra for this extra disc and for the SteelBook. So it's kind of up to each one of you what you decide you do or don't want. The only issue I have with the SteelBook is they're very rare and they've been sold out. So keep that in mind, the standard release is easier to get and it is a heck of a lot cheaper. Now the 4K Ultra HD disc is a BD66. The Blu-ray disc is a BD50. Both discs I exclusively tested, as I always do on this YouTube channel. And for all of my international audience, both discs in this set are completely region free. No matter where you live worldwide, you won't have any issues playing either of the discs, any of the special features. They are both 100% region free and will play on any Blu-ray player worldwide. And that's something I've always done exclusively on this YouTube channel. Now overall, I think it's a great addition to the Scream series. And I think it's a fun horror movie without getting over the top or being too extreme. Even though I did kind of feel like I said, the buckets of gore did kind of get just slightly on the cheesy side. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the buckets of gore in this compared to the original Scream release. Let me know if you noticed that difference, that basically it was kind of getting to the point of where it was actually laughable how much gore. It was like they were squirting like a hose out. I mean, literally it was that bad. But otherwise, the film was well done, it was well written, and I enjoyed it. So my review score for this Scream 2022 4K Ultra HD release, the visual quality, the audio quality, little nitpicky was it didn't get a Dolby Atmos, so that did affect the review score a little bit. You're going to be looking at my review score for this as a 9.0. It could have gotten some fractions of a point more if they would have added like a Dolby Atmos mix. Though on an opposite side, I did really enjoy the Dolby Vision in HDR10. So the Dolby Vision just had a slight one-up over the HDR10 in my opinion. So depending on which TVs you have or which players you have the availability for, the Dolby Vision in my opinion just did look slightly better. So it does get a 9.0 overall. It's enjoyable. No, do I feel like it's up there with as an amazing transfer or amazing looking as the original Scream release did? No, and that's why it's represented in the review score. I felt like that original Scream Restoration Remaster really was a shocking change in transfer over the original Blu-ray release, which if you haven't checked that out, like I said, once you get done watching this, you'll want to go check out that review. It's a pretty darn interesting 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison, and there's some pretty shocking things about that. But I did enjoy this film, and that's why the 9.0 represents the quality of what this 4K looked like. It's good, it looks great, it's just not reference quality. It's not gonna be a 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. It's just not that high, but it does look good. I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, and I do recommend picking up. 9.0 is always a recommended. Add it to your collection, enjoy the film. Make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on the film. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you've even seen it, or if you're gonna pick it up and add it to your collection. It is one of those fun horror movies, and I liked kind of like the meta, in-universe kind of comedy they used throughout it. I really think if you've watched the other Scream movies like I have, there were so many things that did a great job harkening back to, tying in, and just making comedy about it throughout it. That's where I feel like the Scream movies really excelled, and this really added to that series, and I think was a great addition, and I do look forward to if they're going to make another one, and I really do hope they continue it. I know they've referenced that they're planning on making more of these, kind of continuing on in this series, and I do look forward to those. If they keep this kind of the series going with this kind of writing, directing, and acting, I think it'll be good. So I do look forward to that and hope they do continue it. The only thing I would reference to Paramount Studios is for future releases, please, if you have the Dolby Atmos available, please add it to the disc. I don't know why they didn't add it to it when they had the availability for it. They gave it the DTS HD 7.1, but really they could have done that Dolby Atmos with the Dolby Vision, and that would have increased the review score for this and done a much better job review-wise. I had fun with this one, and I wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible for all of you to watch. The reason I've been a little bit delayed with some of my reviews recently, I did get some of these in early. I actually got injured. I broke my foot, and then I badly injured my lower spine. So I've had a hard time sitting and walking, which causes a lot of complications, especially for making these reviews. It's painful and very difficult with my nerve damage, just holding things, and then obviously the other pain of breaking my foot and my lower spine damage has caused a lot of problems with making these reviews. So I have to time it just right when I can take enough basically painkillers and medications to come in here and film and create these for all of you. As always, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I put the links for all of these Screams down in the description section right below this video and as a pinned comment. So if you're gonna pick this up and add this to your collection, make sure to go down to one of those links down there below and click through that. As I've always said, that helps out this YouTube channel just a little bit, and I need all of your support. I always need all of your support to keep creating these videos. I can't do it without all of your love and support. I thank you for all the love and support all of you have been given over the years. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and exciting coming out very soon.